Welcome to Game 2 of the WCG 2013 Game Festival in China. We are in a best of 5. Let's get right into it. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position, it's going to be PartinG as the red Protoss, and his opponent is Ian from yoeFWIan, and he will be the Taiwanese Blue Zerg. This time around, PartinG, it looks like from the positioning of his first pylon, he's going to go for the Forge Expand.
That's right, that's right. And perhaps because he showed that he went Gateway first last game, maybe Ian's feeling confident enough to go for a hatchery first. Like, yeah, he'd probably do the same thing. But really, PartinG has got that already figured out, and he's going to go Forge and potentially Cannon Rush if no pool comes up. If a hatchery comes first.
Also, PartinG is going to scout with the initial probe that built the pylon. So if Ian wants to still go ahead and do that hatchery first, well, that's the risk that he's taking.
That is a big risk, and it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Looks like we're going to see a pool any second now.
Yep. All right. Ian sticking to his roots, just making lots of pools, and will eventually follow up the hatchery. There's really, though, there's nothing wrong with this Moonblade. He's playing very safe.
He's playing very safe, and it is the right choice right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it was a Forge and he was going hatchery first, he would just simply, he'd lose that natural, and he would have to expand very far away, and it just put him behind in general.
Yeah.
And you don't want that against PartinG. I mean, you have enough problems as it is.
Let's see how annoying PartinG can be with this single probe as he's moving around. It looks like PartinG's going to go ahead and land a Nexus as he continues to just annoy the heck out of this drone. Really wants to morph into a hatchery.
It's incredibly annoying when this happens.
Especially
when someone is so good at it.
He wants to make the Queen of Blades proud, and eventually he'll be able to do that.
Indeed, indeed. And yeah, there's the Forge and the Nexus first, so very solid play, very standard play, and we'll have to wait and see what PartinG is going to go into after this. This map, particularly hard to get a third base for Protoss.
Yeah, I totally can agree with you on
that.
Very,
very open map and a very open ramp to that third base, so...
There's a reason why I have this map thumbs down on
yeah, a lot of Protoss players do, and that's the very reason why. So I'm kind of thinking of if we might see an Immortal in or something of the like.
Well,
it is PartinG.
It is PartinG. He has his 1-1.
He is quite
build.
famous for it.
Yeah.
You know, like the Soul Train.
Yeah, Soul Train. Ian, he's gonna go ahead and grab another expansion. Gonna get up his third.
The very standard.
Yeah, very standard.
Very standard 3-base counter to the Forge Fast Expand.
Yep.
Want to get that third before you get any sort of gas. Usually around a 6-minute double gas. And into that, you kind of want to see what the Protoss is up to before you make a move. Scouting the gases of the natural is extremely important as Zerg. It really gives you an idea of the tech they're going into, whether it's going to be like a really fast gateway timing or it's going to be Robo or Stargate. So scouting, very essential in this matchup. The Zerg needs to know when they need to stop making drones, more than anything else.
All right, well, PartinG has not decided to grab the gases at the natural. That's probably going to be the next big thing to, like you mentioned, to look out for.
Usually around like 6 to 7 minutes, you want to have a fair idea of those natural gases. You know, you really want to have an idea of what's going on.
All right, the cybernetics score has completed. PartinG, he's got almost enough gas for some extra tech. As he did. I don't know where it went.
Well, he started getting the
Sentry.
The Sentry, yeah, the Sentry, and he's got Warp Gate on the way.
All right.
So we'll have to see what he goes into next.
Wow.
He's getting the +1 attack, actually, so we might see some aggression after all.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised based after what happened in the first game, how effective the early aggression and poking for PartinG was, even if he didn't fully commit.
Just the poke, you know, it's all it takes to really set someone over. If they're scared, they're scared of what possibly could come, but what doesn't come. And more gateways being added right now. We got 2 more on the way, so we'll see how many he goes up to.
The 3. The Overlord's going to scout things immediately, though.
That's right.
So when the Zerg player, he's going to see these 3 gateways, and he knows about the +1. I think that's going to be pretty indicative that the Protoss player wants to be aggressive early on.
That's right, and we do see an early Roach Warren, which is a perfect counter to it.
Excellent. So Ian knows his stuff, easily recognizes exactly what PartinG is planning. The real question is going to be, can PartinG just mind game his opponent out, or will he simply out-micro Ian and continue to make this attack successful?
I definitely think it's just going to be a light harass into a fast third base for PartinG. judging by where that next pylon is, and then the next is at the third base.
Yeah, like third nexus may have something to do with it.
Gives me a fair idea of what he's planning. And yeah, these +1 zealots are going to hold off for now, and it's going to be really up to Ian whether he wants to be really aggressive or he's going to take a fast fourth base and going to drag out the game to a mid to late game.
Well, he's got his lair on the way, getting a second evolution chamber as well, and a spine crawler. So just wants to make sure that the protest play doesn't make the third, and then just go all out on the units. And I like this, what PartinG's doing. He's really focusing on making a nice wall up third base. Like we mentioned, Moonglade, this is such an open map, especially at that third base.
That's right.
You need to focus on your SimCity, have some nice wall ops, prevent the Zerg from getting excellent surrounds, or simply doing lots of link run-bys.
It's very, very important to have that SimCity for fighting any sort of roaches on Zerg composition. And it looks like it's going to be a fast Hydra Den.
Oh.
So we're going to see like perhaps like a Hydra timing and a fourth base. We'll have to see what he goes into exactly. But doing all this teching without really having any units is a bit risky. Despite the fact that PartinG is taking a fast third base, he can put up a pylon and start making a lot of the +1 zealots, which are going to...
And the sentry count is actually becoming quite formidable.
It's actually quite scary, you know. He could actually do some real damage.
Oh, no probe. You can't build pylon on the creep. You can get close, though. Oh.
You know, if he actually waited for a zealot warp in before really showing any of his units, he could have really done some solid damage. But now that he's shown his sentries, we already got like 11 roaches on the way. So
yeah, that's actually a little bit perplexing why he decided to do that, but make no mistake, PartinG is here to do some damage, and damage he will most likely do with that pylon that can warp in reinforcements essentially on Ian's front doorstep. The real issue will be, though, you know, can he do enough damage? I'm assuming he's going to recall. Maybe can he actually get the hatchery with some good force fields? He can focus fire down the hatchery. The drone's coming off the mineral line, attempting to get us around, but it's going to be too late. The hatchery falls, and the recall to top it all off. Ian just, unfortunately for the Zerg player, falling far behind.
PartinG just makes it look so easy. I mean,
know.
He just walks in and takes what he wants.
He does.
It's really ridiculous. And now Ian's left with all these roaches and nothing really to kill. And I mean, PartinG can just sit inside his SimCity and just wait it out, tech to Colossus, and make like the perfect army for crushing roaches and hydras.
This is not the best position for Ian to be in.
Yeah, you never want to be on 3 base and on versus 3 base.
So
Zerg versus Protoss.
If you're in Ian's shoes, like, what do you kind of try to do in this situation to scrap your way back into the game?
You either got to take a chance and go for a huge engage with the roaches that you've made, plus obviously more, or you simply try and see what army he's making and try and make the counter to it. Whether it be going into Mutalisk and try and counterattack all the time, whether it be a really huge Roach Hydra army. I mean, if you're only seeing Immortals being made, I mean, the potential to make like a big tier 1 army with some Hydras, you can fight that. If Colossus are added, you can't. So I mean, it's going to really depend on the composition you see.
Oh, from the looks of things, PartinG is simply adding Immortals into the mix.
Yeah.
He's got Blink. The +2 is about to complete. He's also building a War Prism behind this. And we have a few additional gateways on the way. So PartinG is going to just have a gateway explosion headed towards
It's going to be a huge timing attack. So many Stalkers going to be made.
The Stalkers with Blink, the +2. We have the War Prism on the way, and the Sentries as well to help out with the Guardianship and Force Fields. But let's not forget, this is a humongous area that PartinG is going to have to control. Time Warp goes down. The Stalkers are going to get some free hits off as well. The Force Fields are pretty solid, and Ian deciding, I do not want to fight this. I need to move back slightly. But, I mean, there's still just a large amount of Sentries, and the force fields provided from PartinG are going to help him out so much whenever he wants to engage against Ian. It doesn't matter how open the map is.
That's right, and it's so many Hydras being made, but just being made too late. It's just you just really need this army together to really put up a good fight.
And this really just comes back to losing that third base early on. PartinG continuing to just blink forward, being very aggressive. He doesn't care what Ian has. It's simply not enough. The Hydras, the Roaches, the drones all falling, and it looks like we're going to see a quick 2-0 from PartinG.
Any minute now. Any minute now.
Any minute.
It's just a matter of time. So many Stalkers still being run into the base, and they pretty much attack moving right now, going, why hasn't this guy left the game? Come on now. Maybe Ian's thinking about why he lost, and for sure, the reason he lost is losing that third base like that.
Yeah,
just completely being caught out. Having no units at all is a huge mistake. I mean, when you see full gateway like that, with +1 being researched, is a good chance of a timing attack.